Hello and welcome to another episode of the Late Winner Show. Today we have Rishabh and Anshuman. So welcome guys. Thanks for joining us and let's start. Let's give our viewers a preview of the Premier League roundup right now. So we have the Premier League starting on Friday. We all are very excited as of now. Anshuman and I specifically very excited with the Super Cup victory today we had for Chelsea. So all guns blazing for us. So yeah, let's get right into it and start with the biggest question which we've not covered in our previous few podcasts. So Rishabh, yes, let's start with you. We've not had any conversations related to City. So what are your thoughts? Do you think they can the definitely Pep has bolstered the attack, and with Grealish coming in, there is a lot of chances which are going to be created. But the problem with City right now is who's going to capitalize on those chances. The number 9 is still missing for them, and the Harry Kane saga still continues. So, what do you think? Will City be the title contenders? Can they have a repeat of last season?
Are title contenders. That's not a question. That they will be the title contenders, but they have a lot of problems at this moment. I feel there are players coming back from the Euros, which will take a few months to get back into the rhythm. You look at De Bruyne and his problems with the ankle ligaments that he's got. Foden's also got a boot injury or something. So they're looking a little bit, at this, a little stretched. I'm not sure as of right now how Grealish would be integrated in the team. I really feel he needs to get a really fast start. Otherwise, he'll probably become the next victim of that Pep roulette and probably start losing his place in the team. Once that happens, you really don't know what to expect from Pep. And I have been covering this particular piece that I'm going to say the next time. The next is about the number 9. They have to have a number 9 in order to win the Champions League. Hate me, call me names, go on Twitter and blast me, whatever you want to do. They are not winning the title unless you have a number 9. It's very simple.
Yeah, that's true. I guess maybe Pep has plans for Jesus. So we'll wait and find out. But yeah, let's get to the next question over here. So Anshuman, I mean, we were all really, I think, surprised with the performance Leeds United gave in the first season of their comeback in the top tier football. That was definitely something which we were not expecting, and definitely with the trio, the holy trinity, I would say, in Leeds United, which was Bamford, Dallas, and Rafinha. I think they were exceptional in that season. And do you think they'll be able to replicate the same form? I mean, it's something similar to what I was asking about City, but obviously in different context. Can they finish in the top 10 this season?
I think the kind of team Leeds are and the kind of man the lead is supporting on Bielsa, I think the relentless pressure game and the relentless attacking game will always favor them. I mean, of course, they are not a team that are thinking about defending the goals. They know they're going to leak the goals here, there, and everywhere. But what they need to continue doing is putting the pressure on the front and letting them play that gegen press and that relentless attacking that Bielsa likes to do. And they have retained their best players. Calvin Phillips coming from Euro with a tremendous performance. I think he's going to be the talisman for them as well again. And again, the same top 3 that you talked about, they are going to perform. I think Bamford has gained that kind of confidence playing in the top tier league after the last season. So he's more accustomed now to play in the system that he's being played. And if Bielsa, probably he needs to do some tweaking here, there, and everywhere to survive. But I don't think they're gonna be in the relegation battle, and I think they're gonna be safe around top 10 or probably drop down to 11th or 12th.
Yeah, I mean, barring any injuries, they should be safe for the season as well. So yeah, okay. And moving on to the next question with Rishabh. I mean, Everton has had a very topsy-turvy like summer break, I would say, because with Ancelotti moving out, I think not an amicable breakup. I mean, we were all expecting Ancelotti to stay and see the vision which he wanted to continue with Everton, and we were all really excited about it. But I guess Perez definitely had different plans. He wanted his man back, so he's back at United, and now we have the Merseyside manager coming in, Rafa Benitez, coming into the Everton side. What are your thoughts? Do you think they can really push forward? Because I know you're not a big fan of Calvert-Lewin, and there are reports already coming in of James Rodriguez maybe being sold this transfer window. I mean, there are not a lot of days left, but so I mean, do you think Everton can actually go for the top 8 position and go for the Conference League position as well this year?
Just wanted to correct that. I think you said Perez wanted his man back and he went to United. I think you meant.
I didn't say United.
No, you said United.
Okay, you said United. So he went to Madrid, not United. I was like, what did he say? But anyways, I think Benitez is a good appointment. I mean, you can see that they were prepared to make those difficult decisions. The Everton board I'm talking about, because obviously Everton Benitez has that history with Liverpool, but obviously their transfer dealings also this summer are not really good. I don't think they have signed anyone because of like all the high paying players that they've signed on their wage bill. They were not able to get out any of the players. Obviously Sigurdsson I think was involved in a scandal as well. So it's a very iffy question or like prediction that I have to make on Everton. I feel like Benitez will probably stabilize the backline definitely, because he plays like that. So that's something to look out for. But to say a good season, I'm not expecting them to go into any of the European or even challenge for the European positions. I don't think so. They are ready as of now with their squad. Good season probably for me is just finishing in the top half of the table, maybe 8, 9, 10 or something like that. Maybe if they have a little bit of fortune, they can probably be in the later stages of the cup. But that's about it. I don't really see them finishing like challenging for anything this season.
Okay. And I think Everton definitely will again be in the mix for some time, and they'll have their moments. But I think it could be a season which we saw like last season. They'll have the similar kind of an approach. But let's see what Rafa Benitez brings to the table now, and hopefully we'll see some exciting derby fixture with Liverpool. So yeah, let's watch out for that one. Going to a team which has an history with Premier League on an alternate season as well. So I mean, Norwich is something which we all expect to be promoted every alternate year, and at the same time we expect them to be relegated as well. And so, but one of the surprise transfers which we saw was about Buendia, and I think the surprise is not about him going out; it's about the amount which they received for him. So with a 40 million injection of cash, and obviously the philosophy now changing, because Buendia was definitely very crucial for Norwich. Do you think, Anshuman, that with the current fixtures which they have, which like the first 5-7 fixtures which they have are really tough for them, do you think their fate is already sealed for relegation battle itself?
Well, it all depends on what players they can retain till the transfer window ends, because that is very important right now. They have a squad that can survive, but going through those 5 tough fixtures in the first 5 games, it's gonna affect your morale in some way or the other. Because of course they are a new team, the and people don't expect them to do good, but the kind of game that they played, and I know it, like the same statement could have been said for them 2 years ago as well, but it all depends on the kind of players that are going to perform. And when they are leaving, it is a big mark. It is a big hole that the team is gonna find hard to fill in. But I think their new signing Rasika and I think Billy Gilmore, these two players can actually uh, gel up together. And I think the attributes of Rasika has a bit of an he's towards the younger side of it, and probably he looks a better player than Buendia on paper. So it could be a very good deal for them of signing a player, probably half the price of the selling price that they got for Buendia. So I think if they can perform in the middle of the season where they have some easier fixtures, they need to get those points in. But I think it's gonna be a fight for the survival.
Okay. I mean, for me, I think I would say that it's going to be important that they do not overtire or overuse Pookie in throughout the season, because he's going to be very crucial for Norwich City, which he
Yeah, I
has
think
always been.
they also I think signed a new striker, Josh Harnett or something. He's
Okay.
a yeah he's a new he came I think he's from Werder Bremen, and I think he's a very good talent for them. So I think they have got a bench player for them.
All right. Let's wait and find out. I'm really excited for at least the promoted teams to see how they perform this year.
Right. Yeah.
And so moving on to from Jack Grealish's former team, it's Aston Villa. Let's talk about them. Obviously, we're not going to speak about the injection of cash. I mean, that's something which is that's something that's obviously good for any club which gets $100 million cash. So that's definitely good. But with the new signings which Aston Villa has made, do you think, Rishabh, that Aston Villa will be able to come into a title fight, so not title, I would say, but a top six or a top eight fight, because they were definitely really good in the throughout the season, but at the end they tapered off, and that's why we saw them finish 11th, if I'm not wrong. So that was something which really I think hurt, based on the performances I saw from them.
So yeah, so I was really impressed with them last season, and I'm going to say again, like, they're probably going to challenge again for that fifth or sixth spot. I'm going to be over ambitious and say they're going to probably challenge for that fifth and sixth spot. They have to have a top half finish just based on the signings that they have. I think Danny Ings, Bailey, Buendia, who we just talked about, they are all in the team. I think they need to have a top half finish. They need to go into the latter stages of the FA Cup or the League Cup. One or the other, they need to play. They need to play one tournament at Wembley. Definitely, that needs to happen if like this season for Aston Villa. What could happen is maybe obviously Danny Ings is prone to injury. Leon Bailey, again, he's coming from Germany. He can fail to live up to that hype. I'm very excited since that announcement that came that day. Dean Smith can be under pressure because now he has those players. They have invested a good £100 million that they got for Grealish. It can be under pressure, and things can be on the other side of the table as well. But they can create a lot of chances. They have Bailey, Ings, Buendia. They have a lot of quality to create the plays for the attacking players. And the one obviously Grealish's absence would be felt in one way or the other. But when you also mentioned that they struggled towards the latter part of the season, and that was one of the reasons, because Grealish was injured for the last 2-3 months. They could not really find any other thing other than they could not find any other way to get those attacking plays into the box. So, and then one place I was actually reading about, which is a younger talent from for Aston Villa, which is Jaden Philogene Bidens. Jaden Philogene Bides. So he could be Villa's wild card this season. He has had a great preseason. He has had a real good momentum going into this Premier League season as well. I am not very sure that he'll get a lot of games into the team, into Premier League, but I feel like he's a good proper academy player that Villa has gotten. And if he can fight for his spot, he's really cook. He's really quick, and he's very skillful, and he's an eye for the goal. I really feel like we saw with, I think, Mitchell, who I'm going to mention him in the Crystal Palace preview. I can definitely see this person again coming into and shining in the Premier.
That's a really well round up for Aston Villa. So yeah, let's hope that they can go for a fifth, sixth spot finish or at least contention. But and now let's talk about one of the teams who has been hanging around in Premier League for a long time, and now I think it's time maybe they get relegated, because this is one of the seasons which probably could definitely we see them going back to the Championship. So I mean, let's and the team I'm focusing on over here is Brighton, for the people who are not understood if I'm based on my remarks. So I mean, they definitely have very good players, but the problem with Brighton at this stage is with the lack of converting those opportunities or the chances they create. I was just reading about it that with the amount of chances they created and the amount of goals they could have scored, they have easily left out at least 20 points on the pitch itself, which could have pushed them to a position of seven, as high as seventh, or even in some calculations they're saying that they could have finished fourth. So that is something, an astounding finish, which I mean, there's
If I
you're
didn't
talking
know,
about
if I didn't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
from Brighton. So that's something really really exciting to read about. But yeah, and so looking at their premium striker is Danny Welbeck, who is most of the time injured throughout the season. So what are your thoughts on this, Anshuman? I mean, do you think
Uh,
Brighton's time is done and in the Premier League now?
yeah, I mean, sorry to any Brighton fan who is gonna watch this video somehow comes to know about this video, but I think this season they're done. I mean, they have been hanging around, just as you said. I mean, they have become a new Sunderland. Like every season, they come out and they just try to just survive and hold on to that branch and let them just get those minimum points to survive. I think that kind of mentality is not gonna let you go for a long run in Premier League. We have seen it for many times, and I think and we have, I think, talked about this also before, that they have a very definitive wage structure, which does not allow them to get a lot of players in. And with the Brexit and the work permit issues also, I think the main issue with them is that they had to let go of a lot of players. Their really good players are gone now. Ben White is gone. Their goalkeeper, who was the starting goalkeeper, Matthew Ryan, he's gone now. Even David Proper, he's gone now. And they did not get any replacement because their wage budget is not allowing them. They still need to clear out two more players to get that to get inside that particular financial fair play cap. So I think it's going to be a huge struggle for them, and I don't see a way out for them. Unfortunately, I don't really see any way.
Yeah, I don't think there is the only player which I'm looking forward to is a former Chelsea youth player, which is Tariq Lamptey. I mean, I've been a huge fan of him from the youth academy itself, and he was also one of the Brighton's star performers before
Star
he
performance,
had a
yeah.
hamstring injury in March. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's wait and watch out for them as well. And I mean, now moving on to Crystal Palace. I mean, Rishabh already mentioned that he already has a few thoughts on his mind, and about the appointment of Patrick Vieira as well. So yeah, Rishabh, do you think CP is definitely one of those solid midfield runners who don't go above that position or go below that as well? So do you see anything changing for them this season?
I mean, they've had a very good preseason campaign. I mean, Zaha scored in every game that he's featured in. There's an implementation of a new attacking style that I can see. They were playing I think 4-1-2-3 as the formation. Um, I I mean, there are even summer recruits that you see. I think Mark Guehi started, Joachim Anderson, that I was really impressed with last time in Fulham. He's been signed with Crystal Palace. Conor Gallagher, obviously, he'll be ineligible to start with Chelsea in the first game, but that's something that's a really good prospect, because I mean, I've seen Conor Gallagher play for Chelsea as well, and I'm really excited for him to see play in a Crystal Palace shirt and see like what he can offer to Crystal Palace. And even Michael Ollis, he's out with a back problem right now, but I'm really excited to see him as well. He's a really good prospect signing for Crystal Palace. think he played for Reading last season. He gave 7 goals and 12 assists in the league, and they played one play and they finished one place outside the playoffs. Talking about Viera, I feel like it's a good appointment, but I feel like there will be a very big but at the end. So I'm not sure. I'm not very confident on Crystal Palace. This can be the year where they even take the drop. I can see that they might struggle to push up into that mid table as you suggested, Rohil. Although they have I do feel like they have a good backline, and even talking about Mitchell, I think he's definitely elevated his game to the next level. At least in the preseason games that I saw, or like the highlights that I saw for Crystal Palace. So I really feel this is going to be his year again. He's probably going to be he's going to elevate his game to that next level. So we can see we can see something from Crystal Palace, but as I mentioned, there can be a huge but in the middle of the campaign. So we really don't know at this point of time if what's going to happen with Crystal Palace. They have had a good recruitment, but I feel like the squad still lacks depth. I think one thing that I did not mention is that they let go of 9 out of contract players this season.
All right.
So that's a huge thing. Like, you have 9 players that you had previous season, and you didn't you renew any of the contracts. So
maybe again what Anshuman pointed out, maybe it is to fit their financial fair play regulations and the wage cap which they have.
Because COVID really hit these lower teams.
yeah,
For
no,
the
I agree.
wage.
But you see, I mean, they don't have that budget where compared to like an Everton, where you can
Right.
buy quality players and they can survive. You can survive, at least you know that you won't be relegated. These players
Yeah.
are all very newish, like
Yeah.
Olsey and everyone. They are all coming from Championship again. I can't really speak into if they will be a mid-table finish that is guaranteed for them. That has been guaranteed for the last 5, 7, 8, 6, 7 years.
So, and lastly, Anshuman, today we saw the announcement of Adam Armstrong coming into Southampton. Do you think will he be able to fill in the shoes for Danny Ings? I mean, Danny Ings is a prolific striker for any club to have. So,
Yep.
do you think the Adam Armstrong can be the guy?
I mean, for me, I believe Adam Armstrong might outperform and contribute more than what Danny Ings used to do for Southampton. First of all, Danny Ings is an injury-prone player, which always like hampers an entire team, because at one point of time he's going to get injured for 2 or 3 months, and that's when the team who have been depending on Ings to score the goals, they don't get the goals and they drop off. But I think after a long time for Southampton, this won't be an issue. And also, they're getting a player who is on a prime rich form. He was a top scorer. He scored 28 goals in Championship, and I think his best attribute is something that Southampton also puts in the particular tactic, is the pace. And I think he has tremendous pace. And what I have, because I have been noticing him in Championship as well, what I have also noticed that he has a brilliant first touch. And we know a striker, if he has good pace and a good first touch, in Premier League you can beat the defenders, right? And I think in that particular area, I think Southampton are very safe with the signing of Adam Armstrong. But I still believe that they might struggle, because they have been struggling, because their backline is not formidable. Still not.
Yeah.
For the last 5 years, it's still not. It is jumbled up. There are players who sometimes perform and sometimes they absolutely do not. So there is a huge consistency issue with their team, and I think if they don't sign a center back by the end of the transfer window, a good center back, I think it's going to be a struggle, because one stat that was astonishing, they survived last season, but they were the second most conceded team after West Brom, who unfortunately got relegated. So I think in that particular area, they still did not do any kind of improvement. I don't see any improvement. So I think it's going to be a struggle, and I think they might be fighting for the survival as well.
All right. So yeah, that's all that's all we have for today, guys. These are the questions which we had in mind. But before we sign off, we have a little bit of a fun segment where we want to ask like a few rapid fire questions to both our panelists over here. So yeah, let's start with that. So okay, Rishabh, let's start with you. Who do you think is going to win the Premier League?
Chelsea.
Okay.
It's
Who
rapid
will
fire,
be
right?
relegated? Who will be relegated? Yeah, there are no follow-up questions on that. So yeah.
So, who will be, sorry?
Who will be relegated?
Norwich, Brighton, Watford.
Okay, so no Crystal Palace from you. Let's see. Top four predictions.
Chelsea, United, City, Liverpool. Or Liverpool City.
Okay, and who will be the top scorer?
Harry Kane. No doubt. Whether he plays for City, whether he plays for Tottenham, Harry Kane.
Okay, so yeah, that's the questions we have. A very surprising answer in the first itself, right out of the gate. But yeah, let's ask our Chelsea fan over here and what he thinks about these questions now. So who do you think is going to win the Premier League title?
I have literally written it here. Chelsea will win the Premier League. I've written it here.
Okay, and who will be relegated?
For me, I think it would be Burnley and Brighton and Watford.
Okay, top four predictions.
Top four predictions: Chelsea, then City, then United, and then Liverpool.
Okay, and who will be the top scorer?
I was thinking about for Kane, but I think this season he's going to outperform because he needs to. Salah.
Okay, so
I was thinking later on say Lukaku.
Not yet.
So that's all we have for today, guys. Thank you, Anshuman, thank you, Rishabh, for joining in and answering the ever so important questions for the clubs which we've not covered in a long time. So thank you, guys. Hopefully everyone is prepared for Friday, the Friday roundup between Brentford and Arsenal. We all are really excited. We'll have a weekend review coming up on Sunday for that. So stay tuned for that. Before we just one more thing to add, we have our own FPL fantasy team league and the code which we'll be displaying, which will be in the description below, and now you can see it on the screen as well. So if you're interested in joining in the Fantasy Premier League and interested in beating me, Rishabh, or Anshuman, then you can definitely come in and join in. So we look forward to having a fiery competition over there. So thank you. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Do not forget to follow us on our social media channels. And thank you, guys.
Thank you.